Hey, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't have work till 6. But I went to bed really early because I feel so rough. And I've got like when I get ill, I get like hypersensitivity, so I can feel everything on my body, absolutely everything. So I need something soft. And I feel both simultaneously hot and cold at the same time. Like I'm shivering, but I feel warm. I've got too much to do today, like at work. I'm absolutely exhausted. And all I've done is walk downstairs. Starting with myself. I took my litmus stuff upstairs with me so that I could work on it last night, and then didn't. I just basically just went straight to bed because I was sat there and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go to bed. And that was upstairs. Oh, I feel a bit sick. Let's go get some orange squash, that might make me feel better. It'll be cold as well. And that might make me too cold, I don't know. I'm a terrible little person. Utterly terrible. I get so miserable and mopey. And it makes me so depressed. Oh, let's keep going. Keep trucking. Hello. Good morning. Just good morning. In 15 minutes it won't be morning anymore. So I've got 2 vlogs to edit because yesterday I was incapacitated, for want of a better description. Just gonna make myself a cup of coffee. So hey, I have 2 videos to edit now because yesterday I was asleep for most of the day. I have been really quite unwell. I've had one hell of a fever. Like paracetamol did nothing to it. It was just constant. Every part of me ached. My brow hurt. My eyes ached. Just everything. I was really. I've not been that unwell. It was quite new to me, that feeling. Right, dinner tonight is meant to be in a slow cooker. I'm feeling up for having a go now. And I'm actually quite glad that tonight is vegetable stew with cheddar dumplings from the latest edition of Good Food. So it's full of veggies, really hearty, really warming. Right. So, yeah, yesterday, complete write-off. I was asleep pretty much all day. I go hot and cold. One point I was freezing cold but sweating. Another point I was complaining that I was freezing I was freezing cold, and my partner touched me, and he was like, "You're boiling hot, Ames." And yeah, and there was a good few hours where I was just hot. Paracetamol would not do anything. I was just drifting in and out of sleep, basically, laid in bed all day. And then, I spent most of the day asleep, really. And, Tuesday night I went to bed, probably between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. I fell asleep because I wanted an early night, so that I was starting to feel rough. And I wanted an early night so I'd be well rested for work in the morning. And I woke up in the early hours. I mean, I go to work at, work starts at 6, so the early hours is pretty normal. But I woke up a couple of hours earlier than I needed to, and drifted in and out of sleep on the sofa. And ahed about whether I should go in, and in the end I didn't. And then I went back to bed. So pretty much between 8 o'clock in the evening, right the way through till 11:15, bar a few moments of consciousness, I was asleep. Then I was awake, I think, until about 1. And then I fell asleep again, woke up and whinged that it was only 2 o'clock. Because I think the clouds had come over and it was about to start raining, and I thought, oh, it's like evening, good. And I woke up and then looked at the time and it was 2 o'clock, and I was like, really? There's still more to this day. Brilliant. And then this morning, I woke up at about 1:30 this morning, and my back was in so much pain. I think it was from having laid in bed and being like horizontal for the entire day, from 8 o'clock in the evening one night, for the rest of that day, the 4 hours left of Tuesday night, plus the entirety of Wednesday. It's a good 28. By the time you get to 1:30, 28, that's 29. 29, 30 hours of being horizontal. Good, nearly 30 hours being horizontal. I think my back was just hurting. So I got up and came downstairs so that I could prop myself up on the sofa. Here's, the remainder of my nest. And I felt in the mood to watch something. I wasn't quite up for crafting or knitting or doing anything yet. But I felt like I could watch something, which yesterday I didn't feel like I could do, but I did feel like I was wasting time laying there. I was so bored. Couldn't do anything. So this morning I thought I'll just put it on Disney Plus, and I thought I'll probably just end up watching Futurama, which is like my comfort show. Like, I used to have it on VHS, the first 4 seasons, the original 4 seasons. And I used to have it on VHS, and that used to be what I watched to go to sleep when I was hungover, when I was ill as a teenager. So I do know it off by heart, and I know all the episode titles of the original 4 series because I used to do quizzes on it. And I used to try and do it in order as well at one point. I got far too into it. So I thought, even if I just have that on, it's something I genuinely haven't watched it, I don't think, since I've moved out of my parents' house, because the VHSs are still there. I don't have a tape player, because in my childhood bedroom there is a telly VHS combo. And so it's been a while since I watched it, so I thought, well, even if I watch that, I haven't watched it for ages, so it'd be quite nice, it'd be quite comforting, and it'll make me feel better. And then of course I go on there, and and there was a big, display on Disney Plus. There's a big sort of display of Hocus Pocus at the moment. Obviously, Halloween and the second one's just come out, and there's been so much hype, and a lot of people, people that are my age and older and younger, talk about it as being a real classic film, and I've never seen it. Like I think I recognise the witches, but I've got no concept of where they fit in popular culture. I'd never heard of this film, but everyone acts like it's a complete classic and that it's part of everyone's childhood, and I've got no knowledge of it at all. And I thought, because it was there and I felt a bit rough, and I was like, oh, do you know what? I'll give it a whirl. It was quite good. The acting, brilliant. The children's acting and teenage acting was bad. But they're children, what do you expect? The writing I liked. I liked the writing. Yeah, it was quite good. And then I thought, after I watched the first one, it's now, what was it? About 2:30 in the morning. I thought, oh, screw it, I'll watch the second one as well. The second one was not as good as the first. Although according to Rotten Tomatoes prefers the second one to the first one. And I was a bit worried because a lot of Disney stuff tends to be woke remakes. They even do sequels that are basically woke remakes, and but yeah, the second one, genuinely, if you've only seen the first one, you could live your life not seeing the second one, very happily. Other than the young Winifred, the actress who plays young Winifred, she is phenomenal. That is gonna be, she's gonna be a real famous actress one day. I looked her up quickly, and she has done mostly theatre work, and you can see that the character actress, you can see the theatricalness in her. She was absolutely perfect. It really is, certainly for that kind of character, that over the top. And I really hope that she goes far because she's brilliant. Really is. She's obviously studied Bette Midler in the original. She's got it down to a T. You would think you were watching Bette Midler being superimposed onto a small body. The movements that she's making, it's absolutely brilliant. And would I watch the films again? No, probably not. I mean, the first one, I was glad I'd put my curiosity to bed now seeing it, because I know that it has featured quite a bit in the knitting community over the years. I have seen a lot of yarn dyeing collections being based on Hocus Pocus, and I've seen Halloween countdowns being inspired by the Sanderson sisters and things like that, and I can see why it's a cult classic. I can see the cult element that comes from these things, whether the critics aren't fans, but people make it popular, and I can see how that's happened with that. So I watched that, and then I started on Futurama after that. And I fell asleep round about 7:30 and woke up at 9:00 when my partner was getting ready for work. Which I think was more boredom than anything else. I wasn't tired, it was just boredom, and I think I'd taken some paracetamol about 7. That should have worn off by now. that was the thing throughout this whole thing. The paracetamol didn't touch the fever at all. The fever was just strong no matter what I did. Nothing could alleviate it. And this morning I was still going hot, cold, and then got to the point, I think it was halfway through the first Hocus Pocus, where I was like, I'm fed up of constantly taking like snuggly pajamas. I mean, I've got normal pajamas underneath, so I was taking snuggly pajamas off, putting them back on, putting a blanket over me, and then going, nope, too hot, taking it all off. And then 20 minutes later, oh God, freezing cold. And I was fed up because I've had a whole day of constantly going, oh, I'm so hot, oh, I'm so cold, oh, I'm so hot, oh, I'm so cold. But I just gave up, and I was just like, right, that's it, I'm just going to be bloody cold and I don't care about it. Which I think might have helped, actually. And I tell you what, this is the best I've felt since Tuesday morning. Which, to be fair, it's only been a couple of days, really. It's not a massively long illness. And I was so miserable and I was so bored just laying in bed doing nothing. And I was like, thank God I'm not someone who is, ill. I am relatively healthy. I have a healthy body and I'm very lucky and I'm very fortunate. And I do, I suppose these colds come and knock you off your feet to make you appreciate the fact that typically I'm all right, Just a bit annoying because it's my dad's birthday today and I can't go see him. And I was on the phone to him earlier after my nap because I do feel a lot better, I'm not going to lie. And I was chatting to him and he said, sounds like you got the flu. And I was like, I don't think you can get through the flu in a couple of days. I think this is just a real nasty cold. And it's just, it's just wiped me out. And I was like coughing down the phone at him and he just said, I'm so glad you're not here. I don't want what you've got.